Good morning, everyone. This is Nikachu, Merfolk Master, and we are here with day 105 of Coffee and MTG, the morning talk show. You got questions? Oh, we're going to bring the answers. Let's have some great discussion about Magic the Gathering. And there's quite a bit to discuss. So we've got, anything between, standard bannings, potential modern bannings, and also the rate of how much Zendikar Rising has changed the modern format. Although we have a lot to talk about. So, grab your cup of coffee or your cup of magic. I got my coffee. Nikachu doesn't work in the morning unless he's got his coffee. And let's have a great conversation about magic, because wherever you are in this world, whether it's the morning, afternoon, or evening, is always a great time to grab a cup of coffee and have a great conversation about Magic the Gathering. Good morning, Gus W. F98. And also, we do deck list review on this show. So if you have a deck list that you need feedback from, you ever ask someone, hey, can I get some info on your deck list? And they just never get back to you. Don't worry. On this show, we get back to you. You submit the deck list, and then we have a great time to analyze it, fix the mana base, fix the win condition, take it to the next level that you wanted that deck list to be. My sub ran out. F. All right, it will get replenished. It will get replenished, Lord Magicus. All right, so we're live. Oh, we're also live in the wrong direction. As usual, I need to move myself from the talk show channel to the Magic channel. So far, Twitch has had no beef with me doing this. Still talking Magic. Not talking about anything here on this channel. We just talk Magic. So ban announcement sometime in the next hour. In the old time slot of this talk show, we started at 11 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time, and because of that, we ended up always being in the middle of announcements. It was the time the announcements would start coming, we could start talking about it. But yeah, it might happen in the next hour. It might be a little bit later than that. We're a little earlier than usual. But if you want to be part of the action, you want to be part of the show, you could always come down to twitch.tv/NikachuMTG. And we do this Mondays to Fridays, 9 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. So if the replay isn't good enough for you, you want to get your questions answered, come over. Let's have some fun. Nikachu, do you think silence on a stick would be annoying? Yes, and there are cards like that, sort of. I mean, there are like fog effects on a stick. I think a silence on a stick would be definitely annoying. There's going to be there'd be a lot of ways of recurring it from the graveyard, for example, from Lurrus. So let's pull up silence for anyone who doesn't know what silence is. Silence itself is not stony silence. Here's silence. Your opponents can't cast spells this turn. So let's assume this was a 1-drop creature, a 1-mana 1/1. You could interact with it by killing it at the end of your opponent's turn. That would work. But at the same time, I think this would be a really annoying card to play against. For example, let's say I don't know, maybe it wouldn't be enough. But I would figure that it would be really annoying that your opponent silences you on your turn, and then using Lurrus, just recurring the stupid thing every single turn, and then you're not exactly locked out of you are locked out of the game if you have no removal. So if you had no way of interacting with this thing on their turn, then you're locked out. That's it. It's over. Your opponents can't cast. Well, I mean, you could still attack. Who knows? Maybe it's possible. The more I think about it, that you'd only situationally be locked out of the game. So maybe it's possible. Silence sees almost no play. So maybe this could need a slight upgrade. Good morning, Grim Ducky. Good morning, Ugly Hood Rat. First, as usual, just in time. Don't tell him. Don't tell him. Cactus Ovishmuk. Good morning. It's basically Teferi. Shadow Walker, what do you think of this new theoretical mulligan? Draw 7, then you may exile 2 or more cards from your hand. If you do, draw that many cards, -1, or you may search your library for that many basic lands, -1, then shuffle, then put them into your hand. Okay, so first off, you cannot do a thing where you can search your library for basic lands. You cannot do that, because then all you have to do is there could be a lot of decks that would only want to have 4 lands in their deck, and the rest is gas. I mean, that's basically what everyone would start to do. That's how they build their deck. And okay, your hand has a no lander, so you ship like 4 or 5 cards away, and then you just draw out all the lands out of your deck. That's it. And now you'll just draw gas for the rest of the games. You cannot have a rule like that. Draw 7, then you can exile 2 or more cards from your hand to draw that many cards. It's possible. I'm sure, but it's possible. It's going to definitely favor combo decks because they're like, all right, I have these combo pieces, and now I just need to draw either more combo pieces or more resources or something. It's probably going to favor certain decks more than others. Like a Jund deck can't take advantage of that mulligan very well, but I think a combo deck would. I think a combo deck would like that more than the London mulligan. I think. I'm not sure. I could be wrong. Maybe it's worse than the London mulligan as it is right now. But the thing with the London mulligan is you still have to throw away the whole hand. But anyway, it's possible. It's possible. But you can't do this search your library for basic land thing. Then people will start building their deck around that, and it will be miserable. It will just absolutely be terrible. Whoa, is that a new card for Modern? It is not a new card. Oh, you're talking about Silence? This is an old card. This is very old. Yeah, never mind. M14. You know, I mean, I get that feeling every so often. Whoa, look at this card. This card's busted. Oh, wait a minute. It's been around for 7 years. Well, okay. I'll just be quiet right now. I've been like that though. I have. I've been there. Like the set symbol is weird, and it's and I figure like this is like some sort of new card, but really it was like it was a commander card reprinted for, but like it was reprinted into Commander, but it was actually Modern legal the entire time for like 10 years. Thank you very much, Shadow Walker. Just subscribing. Wait, is there a message attached? Sometimes there's messages attached. See nothing here. Where's my feedback? Where's my feed? It's not popping up in my feed. That's okay. Shadow Walker, just subscribe. That's all I need to know. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. And remember, if you want to get your questions or comments answered, give 3 question marks before the question, 3 question marks after the question, or at Nikachu MTG helps me find your questions in the sea of comments that we have here on this channel. So something's getting banned today. What on earth are they gonna do? So by the standard of like not banning the new cards, probably Uro. I don't know if enough people complain about it, but this is still a pretty fresh new card, all things considered. So like standard, I don't know if anyone can someone send me a list of like the top standard, like the top 16 of the Star City standard event. It was like 14 Omnath decks and then 2 adventure decks. Like it basically was super dominated by the Uro, Lotus Cobra, Omnath fiends. What did they think was going to happen? What did they think was going to happen? And you know what? I mean, let's say you ban Uro. I don't even know if that solves the problem. Like Lotus Cobra plus Omnath is still pretty stupid. And people, so like let's take a look at Omnath for a second. I didn't think of it this way, but people are comparing this to Siege Rhino. And by the way, Siege Rhino was a beating in Standard at the time. It was one of the best cards. It saw a lot of play. I mean, Siege Rhino saw play in Modern at the time. That's how good Siege Rhino was. And Omnath is very comparable. 4 mana, but draws a card. Are you kidding me? And then when a land enters the battlefield, gain 4 life. But the one thing that this Siege Rhino can do that the other one couldn't is that you can play a free spell off of it. So if you have like a fetch land, you gain the 4 life, you sack it, and boom, you have 4 mana just out of thin air. You can play more of these Siege Rhinos. Or you can't play more of the Siege Rhino that's a legendary creature, but you can play more stuff. You can play Uro. You can play Uro off of it, and then get the last land, draw a card, gain more life, put another land drop on the battlefield, and then dome your opponent for 4 damage. Landfall is so busted. Yeah, people are. You know what? We were talking like didn't we have a discussion like not too long ago? Like what Landfall cards exist in Modern? Like people are like downplaying Landfall, and there's a lot of Landfall cards in Modern and cards that have seen play in Modern. You know, we still see Searing Blaze, we still see the pump spell for Infect. I don't remember it off the top of my head. And now this card is seeing play. I don't know. I don't know if this is actually going to be a staple of the Uro decks in Modern, but yeah, Landfall is making a big comeback here, just ripping everyone apart in Standard. The ramp card draw life gain is annoying, but he doesn't stunt my game plan as much as everyone hates on Uro. Oh yeah, like Uro. So like, I think, I think Modern would be happier if it was like, okay, I'm not saying anything should be banned, but if anyone had to choose Omnath or Uro, I'm sure most people would be happy to see Uro gone and Omnath still in the format. But Omnath might not even see play in Modern if Uro got banned. Uro should be banned. They should hit. Uro shouldn't be banned. They should hit Cobra. That is a weird card to hit, though. That is a very weird card to hit. And was the format healthy even before? And that's a whole discussion in itself. Like, Standard is not traditionally a healthy format. It's generally like a complete pile of shit. And it's... So when people say, oh, it's all of one deck right now, I mean, this is not the first time this happened to Standard. I mean, this is just the nature of Standard for the most part. It's really hard to balance Standard. Although, in my opinion, they should just keep banning cards until the format balances itself. But that's just an awkward thing to do. At a competitive level, it looks bad. Like, here's the thing about Standard. At a competitive level, it looks bad. It always looks terrible. But at a practical level, like you go to the local game store, people play whatever the hell they want. I've seen those Standard tournaments. People just play, they just play whatever the hell they want. And it's not that competitive. It doesn't matter. So at a very competitive level, you know, this is oppressive. This is a problem. So if you're in the Mythic League, I don't know what MTG Arena looks like. Like if it's all Omnath decks from say Platinum and higher, I would say that's a problem. But if it's all Omnath decks in Mythic, I mean, technically it's still a problem. But from Wizards' point of view, the format might be healthy if everyone else is just agreeing to play whatever the hell they want. So it's just bad for the competitive players. I don't know, but I would like to know if maybe it's bad for the casual players too. The problem is with all these new ramp cards, they gain life and draw cards, and you don't lose any tempo from playing them. That's right. So you get land drops. Okay, so with Uro, yeah, you have to sink 3 mana into this thing to draw a card and gain life, but you also ramp. So you can stay ahead of like Tron decks and Titan decks, and I mean that's in Modern. I can't imagine how devastating this is in Standard. And in addition to that, yeah, you put the land onto the battlefield, and same thing with Omnath. If you get 2 lands on the battlefield, you get to play a second spell on that turn. This is beyond ridiculous. Yeah, Bloodcast, excellent landfall trigger creature. Do you think land destruction is okay to play as Landfall now becomes broken with Omnath? Probably not. These cards are not particularly expensive. Between, like, Uro is 3 mana, and Omnath is 4, and also Lotus Cobra gains a bunch of mana, so you probably are not going to beat them on the land destruction route. I mean, you can, like... So let's say I play turn 2 Lotus Cobra. Okay, let's get Lotus Cobra on here. And Lotus Cobra, by the way, is an amazing mana fixer. Landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, add 1 mana of any color. Saw some fringe Modern play in the last 7 years, but like for the most part was a Standard all-star. Saw a lot of play in Standard when it was legal back in Zendikar. It's actually interesting. You know, this is a rare... This is like Grey Merchant, the Grey Merchant of the set, where they literally reprinted a card from that old set. Okay, whatever. So Lotus Cobra. So let's say I play turn 2 Lotus Cobra. Turn 3, you play Stone Rain on my land. Great. I have 1 land left. Now, all I have to do is play 1 land, and I will have mana for Uro. Because whenever a land enters the battlefield under my control, I add a mana. So I put a forest in play, add a blue, tap my forest and my first land, and I have 3 mana. I can play Uro. And if I have something like... what's the passage called? Something Passage. Fabled Passage. So if I have Fabled Passage, Fabled Passage enters the battlefield, I add a blue, sacrifice Fabled Passage, get a land, add a green, and then I can play Omnath on that very turn. If I have enough land, well, yeah, so it can't enter the battlefield untapped unless I have 4 or more lands. So Fabled Passage will also help me ramp with Lotus Cobra. So I don't know if the land destruction route is going to work. Maybe, but given all the means that they can undermine it, it doesn't on paper, it doesn't seem like, I don't think it would actually work. Balada cheered 15 bits! A whole 15 bits. Thank you very much, Balada. Omnath is fine, honestly. Uro just synergizes well with Omnath. Cobra is much more manageable than Uro. I love this whole debate. Like, we gotta ban Uro. We have to ban Cobra. We have to ban Omnath. So, like, I mean, maybe for the most part, people are like fine with Omnath. But I love the Uro versus Lotus Cobra debate. I don't think a single ban can fix Standard. Probably not. Probably not, but they're going to do something. Wizards might just announce them closing the Pioneer format because how dead it's become. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's not great, but it's not that bad. I looked at the numbers. It's like, it's around. I will just say again that I think Pioneer needs Wizards' attention. And, like, for example, no one would play Standard if Wizards didn't make big events for Standard. Simple as that. No one cares about this format. Except sorry, Ugly Hood Rat. You care about that format. But outside of Ugly Hood Rat, like, more people prefer to play the more non-rotating formats or even limited. Pioneer needs like a Pro Tour event coming up or something like that. Like, that's how Pioneer got it popular in the first place. We need it. They like create centered, okay, we're making this hot new format. There's a bunch of GPs coming up, and there's going to be a Pro Tour that's around Pioneer. Everyone get ready. And then everyone got ready and everyone got excited. And it was only until that Pro Tour moment that the Inverter and all the other combo decks broke out, and then they didn't do anything after that. And then they just let the format be itself for like 3 months, and it turned into a pile of crap. I think one way to reinvigorate people's energy in the format is for Wizards to build big events around it. Unfortunately, no GPs for the foreseeable future. So, I mean, it's on them. But that, I think, would help, if you force the pros to play it and you get everyone's attention, like, oh, we got to prepare, we have to play test, they will come back. The format's okay. They got rid of Inverter, and they didn't actually get rid of the Breach deck. Breach deck actually adapted quite easily. That's so true, Nikachu. Standard is always trash. Even when I loved Standard, it was considered absolute trash. I love the Ravnica Theros Standard, where I got to play with like Tidebinder Mage in the main. Well, Master of Waves, Thassa. God, let's look at Thassa. God of the Sea. I remember Master of Waves. This card. Can we see a price history here? Let's go find the price history of Master of Waves. Let's go to like MTG stocks. No, not stocks. Let's go to MTG Goldfish. Master of Waves. Just to illustrate, this thing was a whole $1 a little recently. Okay, look at this spike. So in the beginning, it was worthless. People were like, well, this is just a bulk rare. I mean, this is stupid. It's a 4-mana 2/1 creature. This is unplayable. And then after the Pro Tour, boom, it like spiked like $25. Then it collapsed eventually. Oh, it made a big collapse. And it was hovering around 10. They made a little bit of a resurgence. But the point is that Master of Waves was considered complete junk. Oops, let's go back here. It was considered complete junk, but it was amazing in Standard. It was amazing card in Standard. But the point is, it was basically a 3-deck format: mono blue, mono black, blue-white control, and it was like that for a whole year. There was a bit of split red-green mid-range at the time, red-green monsters, or monstrous, I should say. I love that format. So you know what? One person's trash is another person's treasure. I'm sure if other people have fallen in love with some Standard format, it was also hated by somebody else. Most of the Standard decks at FNM are budget constrained. Yeah, but yeah, they are. But a lot of people, that's just how they roll. Standard is expensive. What do you expect? What should be going is Uro and Omnath. The Snake is actually a compelling card to play. The other two are just too good for too little. They make things too easy. I think it's fine that they ban one thing and then see where it goes from there. Omnath might not be it. I mean, Omnath, like I said, hey, we lived with Siege Rhino before. I'll just say that much. We've been down that route before. It's bearable. As for Arena, playing best of 1 and Omnath Ramp happens about 1 in 4 games. No idea on best of 3 because my deck is linear best of 1. But where are you? Arena best of 1 happens. Like what rank? That's the most important thing, because I know from playing Standard on Arena when Standards is really bad, that the metagame's really diverse in the lower tiers because people are just playing whatever. They don't care. And then when you get higher and higher, you need to get more competitive so people converge to the tier 1 decks. If some cards are so oppressive and Wizards doesn't want to ban new cards because it would hurt their bottom line, why don't they just ban the cards for tournaments or certain play level of leagues or something like that? Well, like, yeah, but people... the thing is, tournaments... Here's the thing about... Let's talk a little bit about tournaments before I answer this. Tournaments in Magic are sort of... I don't... How do I put it? It's like... They're not really tournaments. They're not that competitive. Like when you go to an F&M, technically it's a tournament. There's going to be winners, there's going to be losers. The winners are going to get rewarded. But really, it's just facilitating casual play for casual players. That's what it is for the most part. If tournaments aren't really that cutthroat. So there are very few tournaments that are super cutthroat, but those decks, those cards still affect those casual formats. So like those tournaments played at a casual level, I want to say. So when you say banning it, like, and also it affects Arena as well, because once you get high enough, you just end up playing against Omnath constantly all the time, and that's not a tournament. That's like basically casual play to some extent, casual / competitive. So when you if you were to take out, if you would ban Omnath from the most cutthroat competitive tournaments, well, it will do two problems. First, it doesn't actually solve the problem of Omnath being in most played events. And second off, it would make it near damn impossible for the people who want to play the tournament format, the tournaments, because, how do I put it? Where do they play test this? You know, because you banned it for the tournaments, but you didn't ban it in like all the regular areas where you could play test. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So like, anyway, it's a sort of an awkward, clunky solution, I guess. But like, what I would still like to see happen is restricting cards. Like, okay, the card is OP. Just let them have one. Just not make it so consistent. And it's still legal. People can still open this up in the pack and still feel like there's value out of it. Oko would actually probably have a higher price than it does right now if it was restricted in Standard. Oko, Thief of Crowns. I mean, I think there are some very real solutions to this stuff. Oh my god, you're just banned all over the fucking place. You don't have many places to play left, Oko. What's your price? 19 ticks? Actually went down by quite a bit. You can get Oko as low as $15. I bet Oko would be $25 or $30 if it was restricted in Standard. Oh, you can't see it. Sorry about that. You can see it now. Good morning, Monster CC. So yeah, Oko, Thief of Crowns. What if we just restricted this card? I think that would be fine. I think it'd be fine if we restricted all the cards. You restricted Once Upon a Time. Like, stop it with the bannings. I mean, if it doesn't even make any sense to me anymore why you just outright ban the card, especially if it upsets people. I think having one of a particular card is okay, in my opinion. Nikachu, are you going to do a patron guide for Simic because you said that's what you'll play in the Mad Traders tournament? I didn't make a guide, but I made a sideboard. Well, I made a sideboard guide, and it is available on Patreon. It should be available on Patreon. It should be available on Patreon. I'm going to just quickly look. Yeah, I have Simic Sideboard Guide. It's available. It's also in my private Discord for the tier 2 subs on Twitch and the $5 subs on Patreon. So there is something out there. Thoughts on Lithoform Blight Black Spreading Seas? Oh, okay, let's look it up. Lithoform Blight. We actually looked at this card before. So it's a 2-mana enchant land, and there's Black actually has quite a few of these auras that do something. ETB, draw a card, although this one draws a card, which is actually unusual for Black. Usually it's something like ETB. Oh, they're just putting draw a card on everything. Usually it's like ETB, lose a life, or draw a card. You know, Black has to pay for that card draw, right? They ain't free from Black. Enchanted land, it loses all land types and abilities and has pay, add a colorless, and tap, pay 1 life, add 1 mana of any color. Anyway, I don't think this card is very good. Well, actually, loses all abilities. Okay, loses abilities is actually useful. I didn't think about that. So it does interact with Tron, I think. Yeah, it interacts with Tron. Although you give them green mana for their like Ancient Stirrings and Sylvan Scrying and stuff like that. It's not that bad, but the reason Merfolk uses Spreading Seas, the primary reason above everything else, is for land walk. Like, that's why it turns the land into an island. We have Island Walk Lords. We get to attack for unblockable damage. That's the primary reason we play Spreading Seas. This land doesn't facilitate that for other decks, so I don't know which deck wants to play this, because, like, you could just blow the land up with something like Field of Ruin. I mean, this will work. Costs a little bit more mana, but you get a rebate because you get a land onto the battlefield yourself. So anyway, it's an interesting card, but it would need the right land for it for some reason, for whatever reason. Modern was dead, such as Pioneer, before Wizards Start supported it. That's interesting. I did not play Modern so long ago to know what Modern was like a long time ago, but that could very well be the case. Like, Modern was very similar to Pioneer in that they didn't ban anything. I can't remember what they banned in the beginning prematurely. Maybe they banned some things prematurely, but for the most part, they just let everyone do whatever the hell they want. And in the end, that turned out terrible. Top 8 was like a cesspool of super degenerate decks, way more degenerate than what Pioneer has brought us with the Dimir Inverter deck. It was catastrophic. And then Wizards just banned a shitload more cards, and boom, Modern was solved. And then Modern showed more. Wizards showed more support for Modern, and ended up becoming an insanely awesome format. It was what made Modern really cool, and still pretty cool even to this day. It was clunky legacy. That's how I would put it. Modern was clunky legacy. Not many free spells. Gotta do everything slowly. No days or Force of Will in that format. I think they should ban Uro and Omnath, but think they will only ban Cobra. It's not the new pushed card. Cobra's new, though. Maybe they can ban Cobra. It's a reprint. It's a rare. Isn't Pioneer Masters getting out this year on Arena? Yes, I think that is an Arena thing, though. So, like, we are waiting. There might be a huge push for Pioneer once it's on Arena. In the past, you ramp by playing dorks that could be at least killed. I don't get why everything puts a land which you can't interact with in play these days. Arguably, Arboreal Grazer is miles better than Llanowar Elves. Yeah, well, I think the deal is that Wizards has printed so much good removal that like mana dorks are useless. Let's be fair, like outside of Noble Hierarch, nah, you know what? This is not fair. There are still mana dorks like Arbor Elf because there is a payoff when you Utopia Sprawl a land. But for the most part, mana dorks are... Okay, I don't want to say mana dorks are dead, but they're so vulnerable in Modern that you need cards like Arboreal Grazer. What is that comparable to? Is that is that what people say is the Mox Diamond of the format? Mox Diamond on a creature. If it would enter the battlefield, you discard a land card. Instead, if you do, put Mox Diamond onto the battlefield. If you don't, put it into its owner's graveyard at 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Is this Mox Diamond, I think? And it can block. And it has reach. Great. Arboreal Grazer has reach. Can't even believe that. You don't even look like you could reach very far. Oops. You don't even look like you can reach very far, Grazer. Yeah, Bolt the Bird. So I think Wizards was trying to take an approach where we're going to make new ramp spells that can't be interacted so well with removal and give, like, ramp. Ramp is making sort of a comeback right now in 2020, but Ramp has not seen a whole lot of play for a very long time, I don't think. Like, I know ramping mana was a very common strategy before the year 2000. There was a lot of artifact ramp and just green ramp and stuff like that, but like for the most part, like ramping strategies have like died. I mean, the only ramp strategy that you really see these, at least even in modern, is like Titan and and Tron. And do we even want to call Tron a ramp deck? But like, so ramp is very difficult to break out in the competitive scene, mostly because of the removal. So Wizards tried to give it a different angle. And it might have been fine if they didn't add so many words to something like Uro. Like, it's just too many words. It's too many words. Draw a card and gain the life and ramp. Oh, and it can come back. You know, maybe it would have been okay if it was just an ETB effect and you got no effect when you attacked. Like, why does it need to do all those things all over again every single time you attack? Like, I don't know, at some point this thing's pushed and then it just keeps even more pushed. I don't know. I don't know how to balance Uro at this point. Uro's clearly like pretty damn strong card. Do you think when Pioneer comes to Arena, the format we'll see a lot more play? Like, yeah, as was just explained, Wizards might be just biding their time before Pioneer Masters comes out, and then they'll make like a bigger push for Pioneer when it comes. Because once it's on Arena, then they'll be like, okay, we're gonna have Pioneer tournaments. You know, if you want to qualify for the Mythic Championship, format's going to be Pioneer, just like they gave attention to Historic. Which do you like better, Dual Deck or Theros Art? I'm sure this is in reference to Master of Waves, which in that case, maybe I'm super behind on the chat. I hands down prefer the OG Theros one because you see the waves, the ponies. Actually, it's not even they're not even all ponies. So, can we get a zoomed in image of Master of Waves? Let's see. Let's go look up Master of Waves art. Okay. So here's the deal. I thought, originally I thought these are all ponies. They're all ponies. But actually, my brother pointed out that these aren't all ponies. There's like different creatures here. This here, you can't see me pointing. Okay, you know how Master of Waves has his hands like this? Look at this hand. The creature next to his left hand is a dolphin. There's a dolphin there. That is very clearly a dolphin. I always thought it was a pony, but it's not. It's actually a dolphin. You can see the beak at the top right corner. This might surprise some people. What else? I can't remember. I think my brother discovered something else in here. We need a full art version of Master of Waves. Full art version would be sick. But anyway, I think this is the more epic image. You know, this guy looks like an absolute Master of Waves. This one, I don't know, this doesn't do it for me. I can totally see people liking this one. It's very different. It's a very distinct different art. Art is subjective, but this is my favorite for sure. Take away life gain and Uro will be balanced? Maybe. Really, in my opinion, I think it's the ramp. Like, at least from my perspective, and you know, everyone's going to have a different perspective pending the deck that you play, but the ramping part is what's frustrating because you soak 3 mana into this thing and you don't tap out to do that. And even at 4 mana, you don't tap. You're like never tapping out. You're always putting lands in play, and you can always interact with your opponent. So it's like you can tap out, and you still have lands to interact with the opponent. So I think that was my. Oh, ban is live. Uro is banned in standard. All right, let's go check the hot news fresh off the press. Wizards articles. I don't see it on their website. Does anyone have a link? Send me your links. Or is it with... Where's your source, Lord Magicus? Okay, we got a good one. Okay, so it was on the Wizards site, but they didn't. Whatever, it's not on their front. It's not on their front page of stuff. Goodbye, Uro. We hardly knew ye. September 28, 2020, banned and restricted announcement. Standard Uro is banned. To not too many people's surprise. To maybe to the surprise of the Lotus Cobra haters out there. But that's about it. Why is this so janky looking? Whatever. Effective date today, I think. I wish one day they would effective date like yesterday or something like that. The list of all the banned cards by format is here. Blah blah. We've been keeping a close eye on the emerging Zendikar Rising Standard format over its first week of availability on Magic Arena and Magic Online, with millions of games having already been played on digital platforms. Early data and results from events this past weekend have shown that multicolor ramp decks featuring Uro, Lotus Cobra, and Omnath are a problem in the new post-rotating metagame. While Uro was a powerful and contentious card in the pre-rotation standard environment, we wanted to allow the metagame to adapt to the last set of standard changes and the imminent rotation before making a decision on whether to let it remain a part of the environment going forward. This weekend's events underscore that the 4-color Omnath decks are dominating early play, and that even the decks built to try to beat those decks utilized the powerful Titan. In order to weaken these post-rotated rotation ramp strategies, we're choosing to ban Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath, and Standard. Our goal is to bring these decks down to a level where they are still appealing and competitive, but where natural metagame forces are enough to keep them in check. In general, we prefer this approach to overshooting the mark and removing an archetype from viability. However, we've certainly noted this weekend's strong results for the 4-color Omnath deck, and we'll continue to watch how that strategy and overall metagame adjusts in the coming weeks. It's unusual for us to make a change this early into the season. Well, there's a lot. Yeah, there's a first thing for everything, isn't there, Wizards? But in this case, we're targeting a card that has shown signs of being problematic in the past and which continued to display its dominance during the events this past weekend. And also, it's the older card of all three of them. Additionally, the speed at which high-level digital play attacks new formats, particularly when digital play is the only high-level play available, means that metagames advance past the early stages far faster than they used to. We prefer to make this change now so that players can continue to get the most enjoyment out of post-rotation standard, which is one of the most exciting times in Magic to explore and innovate. That is a lie. Modern is the most exciting format to explore and innovate. There's a lot of innovation in Modern right now. That is a lie. Finally, I'd like to emphasize that for this BNR change, our focus was primarily on Standard and Historic, with an eye for upcoming 2020 season Grand Finals. Changes to other formats, if needed, will be included in future updates. Blah, 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 blah. And actually, there's a lot of interesting changes going on in Modern. The Charbelcher deck has now successfully shifted to be more of an Undercity... what's it called? Undercity Informer? I want to say it's called Undercity. I want to say it's Undercity Informer, but it sounds like such a stupid name. But those Charbelcher decks are now just Undercity Informer decks, and actually I think they're way better as a deck like that. And it's seeing very serious play. It's being very competitive. So they're probably like the final adaptation. They moved the Charbelcher combo into the sideboard, and I bet the final iteration is to just remove the Charbelcher combo completely. Just be an Undercity Informer deck, because it's just a way better combo. Legacy is the best format to innovate in. Innovation in Standard? Yeah, what is this horse shit? What is this? The most enjoyment out of post-rotation Standard, which is one of the most exciting times in Magic to explore and innovate. No, it is not. That... I respect a lot of things you say in Duke, but I don't know about that one. I don't know if I can buy that one. Does PR speech translate? We made our money, so now we'll ban it because we can't keep it in Standard. Exactly. Got to do something. Let's get rid of the old cards. Yay, I used wildcards to get Uro this weekend. Well, you get them back. So that, you know what? If you had the Uro Omnath deck on Arena, it won't be too bad because you still have the Omnath deck and you're just going to get your wildcards back. So the deck likely isn't going to be banned yet. But it actually, you're probably not in bad shape if you bought into it. You'll probably not be in bad shape. Oh, I only care about Modern, though. What do they do to Modern? They did nothing. But Modern is very good shape. Very good shape right now. All right, do you know what time it is? Do you know what time it is, everyone? Decklist review time. All right, exclamation point, deck review, space. Give the URL to your deck list. Leave any comments. Let me know what format it is. Let me know if it's budget. What decks are you having trouble against? What are you trying to beat? It'll help me and the community try to figure out what deck or how to help your deck list. And as we do that, we're going to thank our sponsors, starting with the manabase.com, your home base for everything Magic the Gathering, especially Merfolk and Commander content. And Fusion Gaming is sponsored by, the Manabase is sponsored by Fusion Gaming, and they've got a new deal of the week every single week. My favorite local game store. I shop everything at Fusion Gaming online. Deal of the week is save up to 15% off all mystery boosters, singles, and booster packs. Actually, that's pretty good. 15% off of a Mana Crypt? That is money in the bank. And I know what those Mana Crypts cost because I bought one recently, like not too long ago. Mana Crypt. Look at that. It's Canadian prices, by the way, Canadian prices, but like, you know, it can be it's like $150. Boom, slash 127. Get your Mana Crypts, people, if you're a Commander player. And also, we're going to thank our sponsor, Mana Traders. Mana Traders is the premier place to rent Magic cards online, and you can support the channel using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or you can get 20% off your first 3 months if you use my coupon code Nikachu. But I'm warning you, you have to do this before October 1st. You can get this 20% off if you can use you'll get 20% off for 3 months if you use the coupon code before October 1st. After October 1st, coupon code reduces from 20% to 15%. Just giving the shout out to everybody. You got to get in before October 1st to get that delicious coupon code. Get that delicious 20% off. How much is a box of mystery booster? I don't know. $240 Canadian. Holy crap. It's Canadians. Everything costs money. Everything is money in Canada. What can I say? Oh, where'd my Twitch chat go? Did I close Twitch by accident? Oh, I just hit it underneath another browser. All right. Deck review pick. It's picking time. Cool Collins deck list has been chosen. Congratulations, you are the next contestant on deck list review. The next contestant. Da-na-da-na. Da-na-da-na-na-na. I don't want to get demonetized. Da-na-na-na. Can we zoom in? We got goblins. We got the gobbles. The gobbles are back. What is the format? Format is modern. And it looks like you're getting a little excited. You probably want to get Muxus out or something. Do you have Muxus in this deck? Or is this just for fun? Okay. Conspicuous Snoop, Munitions Expert, Bogart Harbinger, 1 Chieftain, 4 Matron. And, you know, of course, these one-ofs aren't weird because of the Matron. You can just, you know, scoop up that 1 Skirk Prospector when you need to. Get that Goblin Chieftain if you need to. Get that Goblin War Chief. 2 Goblin Ringleader, 2 Slingang Lieutenant, 2 Kiki Jiki. So we got the normal suspects here. Tarfire, Thoughtseize. 4 Ether Vial. 4, is this a new card? Mog War Marshal? Or you just spelled it wrong? That's right. Why is it in another language? Give me English. I spelled it wrong. It's okay. I got you. I got you, fam. Okay, 2. We have a few Mog War Marshal. Auntie's Hovel, Blackcleave Cliffs, Crypt, Blood Crypt, Bloodstained Mire. 2 Cavernous Souls? 2 of them? Can we live with 2 in this economy? I don't think so. I think you definitely want to get to... I mean, maybe you're on a budget, but I think you have to have 4 of them in here. Will there be a leak today? Absolutely. It's Monday. They banned Muxus? No, they didn't ban Muxus. It's just that, like, do you want to play Muxus in Modern? Mine's the thing. I'll get to this a little bit later. Let's get through this deck list review. So first things off the bat, I'm pretty sure I think every Goblins deck wants to play with 4 Cavernous Souls. Let me look up MTG Goldfish. News. Breaking news, everyone! Lithoform Engine standard combo. That's actually pretty cute. I need to do similar stuff like that, but with my bunnies. Oh, it's a budget restriction? All right, I won't take the time to go look. I would still look something to save for. Fatal Push, Relic, Dragon's Claw, Goblin Crater Maker, Boil, Ringleader, Goblin Trash Master. Okay, now this will be a weird suggestion. Okay, so here's the deal. I think Goblins was like tier 1 and then it just collapsed. I think Goblins collapsed to nothing solely because of Prowess. Prowess is fast, it's explosive, and their removal just snipes this crap off really easily. Very, very easily. I have this may not be the advice you want to hear, but I would think one of the better cards to fight Prowess would be Chalice of the Void. And actually, this would be I think Goblins is a decent Chalice of the Void deck. You just take out the Thoughtseizes and basically, and you can well, you can't. Can you play Tarfire off of Cavern Souls? No, you can't. But the point is, there aren't that many 1-drops in the Goblins deck. So being able to play turn 2 Chalice of the Void would give you a lot of room to catch up against Prowess decks. Now, I understand that's not a budget card. It's very expensive, very difficult for you to deal with. But, I mean, I think that is Goblin's biggest problem right now. And I think it's an effective way of beating them. That being said, I think the list is very good. I think there's nothing wrong with this list. The problem is the positioning. Because you're going to be playing against Prowess at least 20% of the time, maybe more. I have a Goblin combo, so it's +1, and Persist combo. Huh? Oh, this is not the same person. So aside from that, your list is great. Trash Master. Other goblins you control get +1/+1. Sacrifice a goblin to destroy target artifact. Sure, why not? These cards are weird in the sideboard. I'll admit that. Like, these are a bit strange. Can you explain why you have these cards in the sideboard? Is this normal? Maybe it's normal. I just don't know any better. Let me look up Ye Old Goblins to compare. It's just always strange to see normal-looking cards in the sideboard. Like, they aren't even, like, metagame calls or anything like that. Goblins, where are you, Goblins? Did you really fall off the map that bad? Goblins, holy crap. There's one list. There's going to be more, though. See? Chalice of the Void. I called it. I called it right there. The one winning list plays with Chalice of the Void. Yeah, but outside of that, they don't have, like... there's got to be more than one list here. So what else has been doing okay? Chalice of the Void again. Oh, no, I think this might be the same list. Let's look at this one. Is this one playing Chalice? No, but it should. So that is my recommendation. Ringleaders are for attrition matchups. Okay. And I'm sure you're taking... What are you taking out against attrition matchups? Well, one thing you really need for the attrition match... Well, this doesn't count all attrition matchups, but let's say we talk about Jund. You really need a post-board plan against their Plague Engineer. So Fatal Push is good. But you need plans against... Like, because all the Goblin Ringleaders in the world doesn't really matter if there's a Plague Engineer on the board just killing off all your 1 toughness creatures, which you have a lot of. There are some... Well, I guess Conspicuous Snoop still beats it, right? Conspicuous Snoop into Kiki Jiki still beats a Plague Engineer. But, okay, I don't have all that other feedback. I would I mean, I wouldn't even, if you had to spend the money, I wouldn't even spend the money on Cavernous Souls. I'd be working to get your Chalice of the Voids so that you could compete with prowess decks. And it would work so well in this deck because your curve is more or less at like 3 and 4 anyway. So you can spend turn 2 to put a Chalice on 1, and I think that would help a lot. Even though it will be a bit of a non-bow with Fatal Push, it would more or less deal with everything else. What are your opinions on Jund Goblins lists that play Persist combo versus the Rakdos list like mine? I've never seen it before. I've never heard of it. I didn't even know that's a thing. Goblin's still good in Modern? Not really. It was good, but it's just... You know what? It just has one problem. You know what? I bet if more lists played the Chalice of the Void version, or even Goblins with Chalice of the Void, I don't want to say in the main deck, but, you know, it can play the card. It would have a lot better game against Prowess, which I'm sure is just smashing this deck, just killing it. They play Grumgully Persist combos. I would need a list, but I would say, well, first off, I don't see that list at all in Modern. I don't see this one very much either. But I think I know where its faults lie. And that is, it needs to adapt to Prowess. So if you can solve, I mean, I think you can solve that problem with Chalice of the Void. If you can solve it any other way, I would go for it. Maybe one way, honestly, would just be playing more Lords that give +1/+1 to your creatures. Where's another one? This one? That might help. It might. Gives haste, so you can maybe go aggro. Maybe, but I'm not sure. But anyway, I hope that's helpful feedback. Aside from that, 75 is fine. Good luck with it. Good luck with it, or you have to, well, you gotta beat Prowess, because if you don't beat Prowess, Prowess will beat you. Okay, so quickly, Lord Magicus, we have another Nexus of Fate problem. I don't know what this is about. Okay, so... Not to be all negative today, but mechanically unique cards in Secret Lair drops is significantly worse for Magic than today's BNR announcement, in my opinion. What? Not to be... But mechanically unique cards in Secret Lair. Secret Lair X, The Walking Dead, will be available for pre-order October 4th to 12th, with cards to be printed and shipped after the pre-order concludes. That means if you want them, you're guaranteed to be able to order the drop, but they won't stick around forever. The cards included in this very special Secret Lair will be completely new to Magic, depicting the iconic characters of the long-running and critically acclaimed TV series. What TV series? These are mechanically unique cards that will be legal in Eternal formats. Commander players especially should look forward to bringing their favorite cards from the... I get it. The Walking Dead to life on the tabletop. This potentially could be a disaster. Very special, completely unique, iconic characters in the long run. These are all... But they won't stick around forever. So, I mean, if these cards are garbage, it won't be a problem. But if if the cards are legit good, that could be a problem, because it's probably going to be a huge shock on supply. Will be interesting to see what happens. It could be potentially a disaster. But we don't know what the cards are. You know, Nexus of Fate was only a problem because people looked at it and were like, this card is good. Like, this card is actually good, because Wizards did flirt around with this in the past, where they printed like bad versions of Planeswalkers that could be played in Standard, but they were very obviously very bad. And then all of a sudden they printed Nexus of Fate, and people were like, this could see real play, even at 7 mana. That's not expensive enough. Do you think the banning of Uro will affect the price much? Probably not much. I don't think the paper price... I think the price of Uro has been heavily tied to Modern and not tied very much to Standard. It probably will go down. It just has to, but I don't think it will collapse or anything like that. It still sits very pretty in Modern, and probably will still be part of Modern for quite a while. Oh, The Walking Dead Secret Lair is another hit from the leak guy. All right, keep paying attention to that leak guy. They know what leaks. Their leaks are good. All right, let's get into more decklist review. Monster CC's decklist has been chosen. Why would they do unique cards? Do they really need to push the AMC money? Yes, they do. Oh, we have a Merfolk deck. Something I can relate to. Mono blue fish with Mimic. So, Lord of Atlantis. Is this... Okay, this is not my list. I noticed you people are trolling me. You know, I got like a Rakdos list not too long ago. It was like a Rakdos Shadow list, and turns out it was like Canister 75. And I suggested to take out the, what's it called? Apostle's Blessing for more Teamer Battle Rage. And I still stand by that, but like people are just giving me tier 1 decks of other players. I'm on to you, Twitch chat. I'm on to you. Maybe I should just suspect if the deck list too good or too clean to be true. So far this looks good. 18 lands also looks good. I think we could do a little bit more with the islands, though. There's no reason. Like, either you have 4 Cavern of Souls, or you have... what do we need in the island slot? Just be told, I do not want to play... Is there anything? Okay, at least Oboro. Okay, so first off, instead of, like, yeah, more merfolk. Yeah, we need more merfolk. But anyway, the list is clean. I like the list, even with Force Smugglers. I personally find Force Smugglers Copter to be a little much. Like, I would push it as far as 3, not 4, but whatever. The problem is if you fled out on Copter, sometimes you just don't have a creature to crew the damn thing, which is the problem. And like, and in a Glasspool Mimic version, you still don't have a creature to crew. Do you just not have interactive creatures? Because I'm like, for Copter, what did you take out? So you don't have... You have Trickster, Lord of Atlantis, you have Borrower. Actually, everything seems fine here. Did I have Copter in my mono blue list? What the hell did I play that you're not? I don't know. Not important. So, some replacements here. Probably Oboro. Like, Oboro would be good in this one of these. Like, I want you to have at least 10 islands. Don't get me wrong, at least 10 islands. Or also, one thing I want to experiment with right now is Dark Slick Shores. I actually think this could be a legit card in Merfolk now. Because it's not that clunky. It's not as clunky as it used to be. In the Master of Waves versions, it was terrible. Because if you top deck this and you need that 4th land, then Master of Waves was turned off. But you can cast everything in your deck at 2 and 3 mana. And that will save you life on... It will save you life on Dismember. And, I mean, I can go 3 Dark Slick Shores in this list. You can even go 4 if you're not too afraid of Blood Moon. 4 Chalice, 4 Relic, 2 Gust, 2 Deprive, 1 Negate. Nah, don't play Negate. Negate sucks. Or I guess it's okay. I'll tell you this much. If you're going Negate, I might go, like, Wizard's Retort. Like, I do think Wizard's Retort is better as a 5th Deprive than a Negate. I would go the Wizard's Retort route here. So Wizard's Retort, of course, is the... It's clunkier, it is, but for the most part, it'll still do the job, and it counters everything. It counters everything. Yeah, I love Copter lately. It's been very, very strong in Merfolk. It's great against Shadow. It's great against Shadow. If you don't kill it, then it's going to be your undoing, and it flies over the Shadow. Negate is mostly because I don't have Force Negation help. Yeah, I can see you don't have Force Negation, but you can play Wizard's Retort. I think that, and like you can counter Thragtusk, Wormcoil Engine, Walking Ballista. Those are things Negate can't counter. It's going to be more clunky. Like you don't... Oh, I see. You don't have a 1-drop in this list. I was playing with a 1-drop. You're playing with Smuggler's Copter. That's fine. I would... If you're going to go the... Honestly, if you're going to go the clunkier route, you definitely need Force Negation more. I mean, I guess Dismember you might survive off of Dismember and Ether Vial by itself, but like the clunkier are, the more you lean, you got to make the deck somewhere else. If you really need help against Tron, I guess this is fine though. Aside from that, I would work to replace the islands. The main deck is fine. It's all good. Thanks for submitting the list, Monster CC. Good luck. And we might need. I might have to focus my attention more on Tron. Tron is popping up really often. It's like one of the more common decks I'm playing against. I'm playing against it like 50% of the time at this point. Yeah, Force Negation would help absolutely a lot. But you know what? Honest, a lot of people are like, "Oh, I can't afford Force Negation. It's so mandatory." I don't think Force Negation is so mandatory. Like, is it better than the other counter options? Would I play? Yeah, of course, and that's what I'm playing it for. But I don't actually think it is so much better than Deprive right now. I think Deprive, you're going to be fine with Deprive in the list, perfectly fine. Deprive, Dispel, these are the good replacements for Force Negation at the moment. Yeah, well, I don't like cards that are good against Shadow, but I can see the appeal of the Copter. Copter is nice. See, I got a 5-0 without negation a few weeks ago. You see, it's not that mandatory. It's really not. There's a lot of advantages to going Deprive. Like Deprive, I think, is probably better positioned than Force Negation against these Uro control decks. I think it's just better. There are some matches. I will say this much: if you're going super aggro, you definitely want Force Negation because you want to be tapping out all the time. If you're not going super aggro like your list is going, you're not sacrificing that much playing Deprive. You're going to be playing a slower, more patient game anyway. So all the more power to you. You got the 5-0. You know you don't need it. All right. Deck review. Bellata's deck has been chosen. Trying to do a Naya Panza deck for fun. Why not? We need more Panza. Taxes and Panza. Okay, we got Bloodbraid Elf, Charming Prince. That actually seems like nice value to Bloodbraid Elf into a Charming Prince. Oh, this is a cast trigger. If only you could Charming Prince your Bloodbraid Elf. Whatever, it's all good. Dryad of the Elysian Groves, Eternal Witness, Flicker Wisp, Giver of Runes, Leonin Arbiter, Noble, Thalia, 4 Ether Vial. No Valakut in this deck. Can I ask why you're playing Dryad of the Elysian Grove when you're like not playing any of the synergies at all? I think you need, if you're gonna, I would just cut this card if you're not gonna play the synergy. Like you don't need to ram. Are we still here? Are we still live? I had my computer had a stroke, basically. Are we still good? All right. Did anyone see anything weird happen? Something weird happened to me. It was weird. Everyone saw it. Maybe the Matrix had a hiccup or something. Okay, we're good. Anyway, I would cut Dryad. You could go two ways with Dryad. You could play all 4 of them, and you could just put some random Valakuts in your deck. You're a Naya deck anyway, so you can use the mana. Or you just cut this card. Like it has no business in this deck at all. It's not something it has no synergy. There's no blinking synergy with Flicker Wisp or Charming Prince. You can Bloodbraid Elf into it, but it doesn't do anything after that. You might want maybe more Giver of Runes. Noble Hierarch. You have an Ether File in this deck. Where's the Panza aspect of this deck? We've got Leonin Arbiter, and that's it? Ren in 6. Oh, you could Ren in 6, then Ghost Quarter. Path to Exile. Okay, Boil, Collector Oof, Sphere. The sideboard is fantastic. You have a fantastic sideboard. Okay, is your main deck strong enough to deal enough damage to win? I think the answer is no. I don't think you have enough power in this main deck to close out games very well, unless you disrupted your opponent hard. But I don't think you have that. You're more of a a Naya deck than that. You have the Taxes package. You do have that. You have Leon and Arbiter. You have Thalia. That will help. Giver of Runes is good. Eternal Witness is good. Try to the Elysian Grove. Okay, you have to cut this card. This has no business in this deck. There's got to be something better that you can utilize. We don't have enough cards to cut to put the entire Stoneforge package. Lands you control. What is the point of every lands or every basic land type? You have Wrenn and 6 in here. But this doesn't tax either. Honestly, I'm just thinking you should just play the Stoneforge package. So, you know, dump Dryad, dump 2 other cards, maybe Charming Prince, get Stoneforge Mystic, dump Wrenn and 6, and then play like sort of a sword and Batterskull or something. What about the new Archon, the one that only casts? That actually is not a bad idea, actually. Just got here. Can you show the list? Oh, sorry. Have I shown everyone nothing? Hold on. Is this screwed up? Oh, we're glitched up here for a second. Hold on. But everyone could see the list before, right? My thing is not working. I'm pushing the buttons, they do nothing. I want to reload the page, but I'm scared that it's going to turn the stream off. Correct. We could see before. And then the weird thing happened. And of course Dan would want to see the death and taxes list. Of course. Dan loves his taxes. He also loves his dad jokes as well. How do I do this? All right. If this ends the stream, we'll be back. But if not, that will be it for the episode. Let's hope it doesn't. I'm going to do a risky refresh. Okay, are we still here? Okay, am I actually live? I can't tell if I'm live. It's we're actually back. So refreshing actually did it, and it didn't stop anything. Amazing, amazing, awesome. I hope it's the same way on Twitch. Okay, so we're back. We actually see the list. You can see the list from now. Okay, we have to gut something because I think this deck needs a little. Okay, so maybe we should try out the new Archon card. I like that Archon. What's the new Archon of Emeria? I have nothing against this card. So each player can't cast more than one spell each turn. Non-basic lands your opponents control enter the battlefield tapped. I think this would be a cool card to. I think this is better than Dryad of the Elysian Grove, hands down. And actually, I like the evasive threat. So definitely put more of this new taxes card in here. Oh, and there's that new spirit, right? Bloodbraid Elfin Spirit would be great. That new spirit is seeing tons of play. Maybe get rid of the Wrenn and 6 and what is the new spirit called? Honestly, I don't see enough value. I mean, I understand you might want to recycle Ghost Quarter over and over again with this. Maybe. I could be wrong. Maybe Wrenn and 6 is fine in this deck. Skyclave Apparition. Oops. Oh, so many Skyclave cards. So there's also Skyclave Apparition, which is also a pretty good card. I don't know if it fits this deck perfectly. You want to be okay. I don't want to take out the Ponza aspect of this deck, so let's keep the Ponza aspect. I do think you're gonna still have that Ponza taxing strategy if you still include Archon of Emeria in the deck. So I think that is a very good include. You know what? Bloodbraid Elf is a very good card, but I don't know if this is necessary in this list. I see you sort of, but like that, then you would got Wrenn and 6. I think the red in here is a very weak color. Like for example, let's say you want to regurgitate Ren and 6 over, like you want to regurgitate lands from the graveyard, Ghost Quarter every turn. I wouldn't say this is better. Well, hold on. Also, this is a bit of a this might be a bit of a non-bow with Thalia when you try to cast it. Like, what do you want to do? Cast Thalia on turn 2? You want to cast your Ren and 6 on the turn 2? I can't tell which one is better. Same as with Archon, it stops Cascade completely. Oh yeah, each player can't cast more than one spell each turn. Okay, let's get rid of the red. Let's just go green white. Let's just go green white taxes like a lot. Like you don't have enough. I don't know if there's enough red to justify this. Oh, you want to play Boil in the sideboard. Dan brings up such a good point. We can't play Archon. Okay, okay. I don't want to change your deck. I'll say this. I would highly encourage you to go green white. But if you don't want to grow green white, take out Dryad of the Elysian Grove, play the new spirit card, Skyclave Apparition. This thing is very strong, and also cascading into this card will also be very, very strong. What else do I want to throw away? Because there isn't really that much to change. There's not really much else to change in this deck, and I think the rest of it is fine. And if you can like Charming Prince your Skyclave Apparition, that would be fine. I would prefer that there was some way to close out the game. Maybe you have enough. These days, the Taxes decks, they're relying on Stoneforge Mystic, and I think that is a very good plan and route. And, like, you know, you got enough flyers between Flicker Wisp and now, what's it called? The Archon of Emeria to get that, to make that happen. Or just even a creature on the ground and like Giver of Runes is good enough. But that would be my only, because this card has no synergy in this deck at all. Like, I don't know, maybe you want to play extra Ghost Quarters on the same turn. It's just a bit too fancy. It's no point. You're just making all your land. Like, you're gonna play. I mean, maybe you're not gonna walk into it, but I mean, if you play Dryad of the Elysian Grove and Boil at the same time, you boil yourself, and you're just gonna have no lands in play. So this is the only odd card in the entire 75, and I just suggest gutting it for something else. But outside of that, cool list. Good luck with it. And I would highly encourage going just the green-white route. You'd give yourself more slots to play more taxing cards and more, and I think overall a more effective strategy. From what I'm seeing, like most people are just saying the best part of their white X splashes for taxes are just the white parts. You could also run Ramanap to be easier on mana, replace Boil for Choke and call it a day. That actually is true. That's a really good point about the Choke and Boil. Choke is... You know what? I would say that Boil is better. Because Choke has to be played at sorcery speed. Your opponent can play around it easier. It's hard to play around Boil. It's really hard to play around Boil because it's instant speed. Your opponent passes with 4 mana, and they tap out to play Uro, and all the lands that they tapped were islands. Boil. Who cares what land you put into play? You have lost all your mana. Or maybe they even put a Hollow Fountain into play tapped after that. So I would say they are similar, but I think in this metagame right now, Boil is better than Choke. Hold on, I'm gonna take a look. Where my brother is. Where's my brother? What is he doing? Is he on the way? Well, let's do another deck list review. I'm in the mood for deck list review. Yeah, I didn't know that Boil was instant speed. Yeah, and it makes a huge difference. Mild Bobby Sauces deck list has been chosen. Mono Blue Folk, Modern, sort of budget online. All right. The greatest thing about Modern Merfolk, I mean, I've 5-0'd with Modern Merfolk a lot. Oops. I've made many 5-0s, both in friendly leagues and the future competitive leagues, which is like a friendly league anyway. Banthic Biomancer, Harbinger of the Tides, Lord, Master of the Pearl Trident, Trickster, Silver Gill, Adapt, Reegery, 2 Vendilion Click, 4 Boomerang, 2 Deprive, 4 Ether Vial, 4 Spreading Seas, 2 Cavern. So I guess this is where the sort of budget like ends. You got some of the good cards here. Just don't have the Force Negation. 11 Island, 4 Mutavault, Oboro, Waterlog, Grove. I think overall you got the good stuff here. 2 Spell Pierce, 2 Ether Gust, 2 Deprive, 3 Dismember, 2 Master of Waves. So, I would just have 2 Boomerang. I see that you want to have like some answer. Actually, do we need Boomerang? Boomerang is sort of useful against Amulet and also against Tron at the same time. So, okay, I'm not going to be against Boomerang if you want to go that route. But I actually think if I were to choose my new budget bounce card to beat Ensnaring Bridge, it would be just Into the Royal. This is my new hot card. Look at that, new art. Just recently reprinted. So it's just a blue generic, return a non-land permanent to its owner's hand, but if you pay 4 mana to kick it, you draw a card. So it's like Cryptic Command. Bounce a card, like bounce a permanent, draw a card. That's pretty sweet. Non-land permanent, of course, but like it's effectively Cryptic Command. You love Boomerang on the play. All right. Well, anyway, I think 4 is too much. You got the 4 Deprive. You're definitely a little bit more on the control side than the aggro side. Miragery. Wow! Click is only 2 ticks? Jeez. Click has fallen from grace. I mean, this used to be a pretty expensive card. Or maybe I'm just thinking of the paper price. I don't think... Okay, I could get by this. I don't think Click is well positioned right now. I think it's very poorly positioned. I would replace this... Well, I would replace it with the 3rd and 4th Miragery. I just realized you're only playing with 2. You definitely should be playing with 4. I really, in this economy, want to play with at least 12 Lords. Ideally, something like 14. Oh, and my brother just arrived. Give me a second. Hello. Here. Come on. So I would definitely go on 4 Regery, just dump the Click. Chalice of the Void, great in the sideboard. I'm not in love with Spell Pierce. Not sure what list. Actually, yeah, I'm not in love with Spell Pierce, period. I would just have 2 more Ether Gust. I know you have 2 Deprive in the main deck, so you don't need to go that direction. What's the Spell Pierce for? Just out of curiosity. What matchups do you need Spell Pierce for? JZ1. Is Into the Royal better than Blink of an Eye? I'll leave that to chat to figure it out. Because the Spell Pierce is just bricking on like a ton of... I don't think it hits enough cards in the format. Not effectively, anyway. Like, the format is just full of creatures. It's a really creature-centric format, or it's really, really mana efficient, which makes Spell Pierce, like, really weak, very hard to get online. Dismember, I'm not in love with Dismember, but you know, I'm sorry, I'm not in love with Master of Waves right now, but like totally fine card. You can bring in against Burn and stuff like that. Dismember on the side is good. Honestly, I would just play 2 less Spell Pierce, 2 more Ether Gust. Do you need more help? Like, you have... How many cards do you have for control? 4 Deprive. Oh, you have no Relic! Oh, you need Relic in the sideboard. Okay, we have to make room for Relic. So how about this? Dump the Spell Pierce. Dump the Master of Waves. Or you need to... Okay, take out 2 Spell Pierce, take out 2 cards, put in 4 Relic. Because there's no other way... Like, this is the most effective way to beat Uro decks. Is just with Relic of Progenitus. You play turn 1 Relic, and if they don't force negate it, and they will force negate it, they will go out of their way to do that. Because this is like... You have to beat Uro decks. And it beats it by itself. You just play Relic turn 1, eat a card out of their graveyard every turn. They'll never escape Uro. It'll never happen. You'll beat them. So that's my suggestion. I would say remove Click, add Regery. You just need the more Lords anyway. Everything else is fine. And take out Spell Pierce and 2 other cards. Could be Ether Gust, could be Master of Waves. I would probably lean towards Master of Waves, but I can understand why you'd want to keep it. You might want more power in particular matchups, and you got to add in the Relic of Progenitus. Into the Royal references aspects of Zendikar. It's a flavor wind. What does blink of an eye reference? Involuntary bodily functions. Lame. Oh, and Into the Royal, I think, was a Zendikar card, right? Zendikar Rising. What was the first one? Zendikar. The OG Zendikar. Royal Tide, tie yourselves down. In theory, the death of the Eldrazi should have stilled the Royal. It did not. Ha 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 ha. Anyway, that is it for today with Coffee and MTG. If you're watching live, we're going to get right into gameplay. But if you're watching on the replay, that's going to be it. We had a great discussion. We found out Uro is banned in Standard. Goodbye, Uro. Is that a thing to come for Modern? Maybe eventually. We're not there yet. Right now, Modern is actually in a really good place. If you listen to a lot of the feedback, for anyone not playing Modern, they might think, oh, it's all bad, it's all crap. But actually, anyone playing Modern right now, it's actually in a pretty good place. It balanced itself out. And I think mostly just because everyone's testing the new cards and everyone's just playing whatever they want to play. But that's it for the discussion and the deck list for today at Coffee and MTG. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining me today. We had a great discussion, and I'll see you at the next cut. So take care. I'll see you next time.